Hello, my lovelies. Roxanne, Carne, personal stylist here. And if you are new here, welcome to my channel. I am a wardrobe stylist for women. I style women's lives. And I wanted to chat with you a little bit today about an interesting, I guess a little bit of a controversial discussion that's been happening over this past weekend with the wonderful and amazing actress Phylicia Rashad, who was a guest on the Breakfast Club, hosted by Charlemagne the God. And if you have not heard about the controversial comments that everyone's kind of talking about right now, basically she was just kind of giving her opinion on the way women, particularly young women, and I think especially young Black women, how they dress. And I'm going to read the quote to you so you can get the full context of what she said and share my thoughts on it with you. Okay, so let's jump in. Okay, so here's what Phylicia Rashad said. She said, I could look at the way young ladies dress. She was talking about women on, I think, college campuses. I could look at the way young ladies dress. And again, this is a quote. The young ladies are so beautiful. And I don't mean to be critical. And I hope young ladies listening don't take this as personal criticism, because I don't mean it that way. But you're young queens. I'm taken aback when I see on a college campus young women dressed in strips of clothing. But more importantly than that, no man wants his woman to be out like that. End quote. So where the controversy lay, there were kind of I'll say two prongs to it. The first one is the younger generation. A lot of the clapback that's been happening has been centered on, oh, she's old school. We can dress the way we want to dress, so on and so forth. But then the other part of it, and this is where more of the controversy lay, was the comment about how men kind of react to their women dressing that way. And from what I've been reading online, basically what I've been seeing is that there's the young women, or women in general, are saying, hey, we shouldn't equate what we wear and how we present to make it what a man wants from his perspective. So that is really what the conversation has been about. So I just thought it was really interesting, and I wanted to share my take on it because I definitely have some views on this myself. And it was funny because when I first heard the quote, I will admit I did not hear the part where she said, and more importantly, but I took what she said in kind of two veins. The first half of it talking about how these young women are presenting themselves, and then the second half of it being coming from what she thinks is the male perspective, right? In terms of how a woman should dress, particularly if you're in a couple, in a relationship. So my thought on it, again, breaking it into two parts. I wholeheartedly agree with everything that she said about how young women present in terms of what they're wearing. And it is not, in my opinion, as a stylist, because I see it every day, it is not exclusive to just Black women. It's all young women. A lot of young women are really out there wearing clothes that are so beyond inappropriate, okay? And here's the deal. I am not a prude by any sense of the word, right? I definitely believe that, women can and should tastefully, wear clothes that are sexy. When the time is right, when the occasion is right. Again, I'm not a prude. You can be sexy, but you can be elegant at the same time. And what I see, again, as a stylist, particularly in the entertainment industry, but we are seeing it kind of permeating down into college campuses and even high schools. I mean, I saw that nonsense when I was in high school. But yeah, a lot of young women they're just wearing clothes that are just showing too much. Everything is hanging out on the streets for everybody to see. And it really is distracting, and it is not attractive. It is not a good look, even though they think that they are being cute and sexy and all that, right? But perception is so important as we go through life. And I do believe, and I know this for a fact because I do this every day. I've been styling for 12 years now. There is a correlation between what you wear and the opportunities that come toward you. Okay. And it can be opportunities in love, friendship, business, career, you name it. And if you are not dressed appropriately, you're either going to be looked over, or worse yet, perceived in a way that is really more on the negative side and may not even be a true reflection of who you are. Women, regardless of age, need to take pride in their image and how they present, how they speak, how they act, how they carry themselves, and what they wear. And again, bringing you my perspective as a personal stylist. And I know this because this is done. I have wins again and again and again with my clients. When you are wearing clothes that align with who you are and are appropriate and can still be fun and sexy and daring, but yet eloquent, or not eloquent, elegant rather, and, have that air of sophistication around you, you attract that vibe in all those areas that I just mentioned before: love, relationships, business, opportunities. Okay. It is real. I do this and I see this every day, and I see the opposite. You need to dress yourself respectfully so that you can be treated respectfully. Okay. We are humans. We assess people in a split second, and this has been proven. You can assess people in a split second in terms of what we're hardwired to do. I'm not saying our perception may be accurate, right? But it's kind of fight or flight. You're sussing out the information and what you're getting visually to determine, do I want to engage with this person or not? And that's just how, that's how it is. And the old saying, don't judge a book by its cover. You know what? This is what we do. It's human nature. Okay. So these young women need to take heed to that. And it's funny because as I was thinking about it over the weekend, I remember the saying, you have to leave something to be desired. And I remember growing up as a young lady, I didn't really know what that meant. I understood what that meant, however, as I got older, when I got into my teenage years, and again when I was in high school, and I was seeing all sorts of ways that these young ladies were dressing back then and now. So yeah, leave something to be desired, ladies. Honestly, don't put it all out there. Have a little bit of air of mystique. That's part of what sexiness is. You're wondering kind of what's beneath that package. So there's that perspective. And then also it just made me laugh too, because I'm in my, I think I'm, what am I, 47 now? I think I'm turning 47 this year. Honestly, I stopped counting after I turned 40. And I love my 40s. The 40s are really the best years of my life. But I'm turning 47, and I very much still feel like how I did when I was a younger lady in my 20s or even in high school. I'm still the same person, much wiser for sure. But I just laugh because, here I am saying the same things that our past generation, like our moms and our aunties, were saying. And then the generation prior to that, our grandmas, right? And here I am saying, oh, these young ladies today, they shouldn't be doing this, they shouldn't be doing that. It's just pretty funny how history repeats itself. And, in another 20 to 30 years, these same young women that, that we're talking about and are clapping back, their perspective may also change, and they may be saying the same things that we are right now. So I just thought that perspective was funny. So the other half of Phylicia Rashad's comment, talking about, let's see, she said, but more importantly, no man wants to see his woman out like that. So again, this is where a lot of the commotion was about, in terms of, women preparing themselves from a male perspective and what the male wants. And while I understand that sentiment and understand what comes with that, because, you should be dressing for yourself first and then everything will come. But I will say, a lot of women hire me because they are embarking on a journey of finding love for themselves. And it may be the first time, it may be a second time, right? And they want to dress in a way that they're going to have success in attracting that right partner. So, in my experience, the really great men that are out there, they do not want women that are dressing with everything hanging out on the streets. I'm going to tell you that right now. I've experienced it personally. I've seen it with my clients and with my friends. The women that dress themselves with respect, they end up pairing with men that desire just that. And I'm talking for a long-term relationship, okay? Long-term relationships ultimately leading to marriage and a family. So I'm going to tell you, look, Phylicia Rashad told no lies. And I really don't think when I listened to it, she was really sharing that message out of love. I don't think she actually meant that you need to frame yourself up in a way and, where the only concentration is getting a man. While there are a lot of people that, that actively do that. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. If that's what you want, you should be framing yourself up, like I said, for all opportunities visually, right? But I do agree with her, the men that want to marry and settle down, for the most part, from what I've seen, they're not going for the girls that have everything hanging out. They're going for the opposite. Okay. So I just wanted to share that view. It was just so funny because, again, as a stylist and, curating wardrobes and getting into women's lifestyles, from work, family life, travel, entertaining, business, speaking engagements, all of it. I do really get to see so many facets of my clients' lives. And when I think about the success that they have had and tying it back to what they're wearing from that sartorial standpoint, there really is, again, that correlation of success in dressing well and appropriately and really having great things come to you as a result. Now, I'm not saying that's the only thing. Clearly, you need to obviously, have a noodle, right? Have some intellect, have something to offer, be engaging and all that. There's so many facets to attracting opportunities. But again, the first thing that when we're interacting with people, a lot of times, we're viewing them, we're seeing them from head to toe. So I'd love to get your thoughts on this whole, controversial topic. And, do you agree with me? Do you agree with Phylicia Rashad? Do you disagree? One thing I'll also mention too, that I thought about on the disagreement side now is I did not, this is so not ladylike at all, but I did not like a lot of comments that came with, when the ladies were responding and clapping back, when they were talking about Phylicia Rashad's comment, because they didn't agree with her, they then took personal digs at her. It's one thing saying she's from a different generation. That's not a dig. I mean, that's a fact. But I've been hearing a lot of women calling her a pick-me. And I'm just like, what are you talking about? What? First of all, that's such a stupid term anyway. But she is not being a pick-me. Like, why? You can disagree with someone, but you can do so with tact, right? Make an argument, but don't take personal digs at people. She is not a pick-me. She is so accomplished. Like, I grew up watching her on television, and at the time, like, it was her and like Diane Carroll, to what comes to mind, are like the only two Black women that were in our faces regularly in television, right? Week to week, that were in roles where they were successful. And she is successful. And her sister, Debbie Allen, equally is successful. I met Debbie Allen years ago. She's amazing. heart, just a beautiful, beautiful woman as well. So, you need to respect your elders. And you know what? Actually, listen, take a cue. She told no lies. Okay. And sometimes the truth hurts. And maybe you need to take that advice and maybe try things a little bit differently and see again what comes your way. So yeah, drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this, if you agree or disagree. And if you disagree, that's totally okay with me. Put it in the comments, but do so tactfully. Okay. So thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.